Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Coffee with Katie. I have my Valentine's mug, and I'm clearly drinking tea right now. Happy Valentine's Day! I've got some Valentine-y things going on. I had errands to run and plans earlier, so it's a little bit later than when I usually film. This is when I had time to film. So today's video is going to be my March TBR, so let's just get into it. I have several books that I want to read in March. Some are ones that I've been meaning to get to, and some of them are continuations of series, and then there's some new / anticipated releases that I also want to get to. So, the first one is definitely Game On by Nevessa Allen. This doesn't come out until the end of March though, so we'll see how much I actually get read of it, because it's the 31st. But it says put your mouth where your money is, and it's following Tyler, and it says it's an enemies to lovers, laugh out loud banter. He spent years looking for his father, not because he wants to meet the man, because he wants to destroy him, and he'll manipulate whoever he can to exact revenge, including Stella. And she's everything Tyler hates. Her wealth and privilege have protected her entire life, and Tyler thinks it's time she finally paid the price, whether she's ready to or not. And then Stella hates this man, and she doesn't believe in first sight, but loathing at first sight, of course. And from the moment she sets sight on Tyler in her tattoo parlor, she knows that he's the devil planning to make her life hell. And then it's kind of like some fake dating. She's forced to play his fake girlfriend and being invited into the family. So she's being like blackmailed by him, and it sounds interesting. I'm really curious about Tyler's story and how it's going to all play out. I also like that we're following a woman tattoo artist. So hopefully this is good. I liked the first one a lot. The second one was fine, not the best. And then I'm hoping this one's better than that. And then another one I would like to get to as soon as my library hold comes in. And also I have the physical copy as well. But The Elsewhere Express by Samantha Soto Yambao. First off, the edition of this is so pretty. This is just the regular edition. I think it's beautiful. The end pages are made for coloring, and it's just super cool. But this sounds like a really magical and cute story. It says it's like Studio Ghibli-esque and adventure-y. It just sounds so cute. And it says, when you lose your way in life, the Elsewhere Express just might find you. Step aboard the train that may take you to your life's purpose in this wistful Ghibli-esque fantasy from the author of Watermoon. You can't buy a ticket for the Elsewhere Express, appearing only to those whose lives are adrift. It's a magical train seeming to carry very rare and special cargo, a sense of purpose, peace, and belonging. Rhea is one of those lost souls. She had dreamed of being a songwriter, but when her brother died, she gave up on her dream and started living his instead. One day on the subway, as her thoughts wander, she's swept off to the Elsewhere Express. There she meets Q, an intriguing artist who, like her, has lost his place in the world. Together they find a train full of wonders, from a boarding car that's also a meadow, to a dining car where passengers can picnic on lily pads, to a bar where jellyfish and whales swim through pink clouds. Over the course of their long, strange night on the train, they discover it also harbors secrets and danger. A mysterious stranger has stowed away and brought with him a dark, malignant magic that threatens to destroy the train. In investigating the stowaway's identity, Rhea finds herself drawn closer to the ultimate question. What is her life's purpose, and is it a destination the Elsewhere Express can take her to? I really like this. I think it's going to be a really whimsical, magical kind of scenario, but also delving into deep topics and life, like self-discovery, figuring out what you want to do with your life. I love all of those themes, and so I'm very excited to read this. When I get the chance, it sounds so cute and wholesome, but also adventurous and fun. And then I would actually like to get to Empire of Storms by Sarah J. Maas, because I did read Queen of Shadows I finished it in February, so we'll get to that at some point. But I did like it a lot more than the other ones, so it intrigued me enough to keep going, which is insane that it takes that many books to do that, but I'm intrigued enough to keep going, so I would like to, while I have momentum to do so. So I'd like to get to Empire of Storms. This is the 5th book of the Throne of Glass series. I feel like I can't really tell you what it's about at this point, but I'm sure you've heard of it, and I'm sure you've heard of Sarah J. Maas and Throne of Glass. This is going to be continuing the story that Aelin left off on, and I'm curious. We'll see how it goes. And speaking of continuing series, I just finished Light Lark, which again I'll talk about in my reading wrap-up for February, but I would like to continue the series while I have momentum and while I'm kind of in this zone of trying to finish series once I start them. So this is book 2 in the Lightlark Saga series. I'm not really sure exactly the name of it. But Lightlark was interesting. It was about the Centennial, which is like a competition, a magical competition, where all of the rulers come to compete and they want to break the curses. Because years ago, there was a curse placed on all of the families, the rulers, the different islands, and each island or location has different powers and abilities, which I really liked. I thought that was really intriguing. I liked the book okay. Wasn't the best thing ever, but I did really enjoy it and was curious to see what was going to happen and was invested in some of the characters. So I'm curious to see where the second book is going to take us. So I would like to continue that by Alex Astor. I would also like to read Throne of Nightmares by Carrie Maniscalco. This is book 3 in the Princes of Sin series. This one is following Sloth, and the female main character's name is Lore. And this one sounds really cool. So Sloth is kind of like a bookish library, research, study, like studious type of person. And in this, it seems like they end up in this like magical library, or they have these magical books where they can go into the books and travel to these different lands. And they're trying to find the Book of Nightmares, which is an ancient artifact that has power to break worlds. So they're delving into all of these things, trying to figure out what's going on, trying to find this book. They're also facing dark magic and forces that are against them. And it just sounds really interesting, and I love the twist on it, so hopefully it's really good. Sloth is one of the princes that I've wanted to read about. I wanted to read more about Pride and Sloth, so we're getting Sloth this time. So I'm excited to continue this series and see where it goes. And then one I've been meaning to get to for a long time and just haven't is The God in the Gumiho by Sophie Kim. This is book 1 in the Fates thread duology. I think it's just a duology. And it sounds so cute and it looks so good. And Bex from Bex Reads, I think she read this and really liked the duology, so I'm excited to give it a shot. It says, Kim Henny, the once terrible Gumiho, known as the Scarlet Fox, spends her days working at a cafe and trying not to let a certain customer irk her. Sogya? Audiobook will help me with that. A trickster god thrown from the heavens for his attempt at a coup, spends his days hunting demons and irking a particular Gumiho. When a demon of darkness escapes the underworld and the Scarlet Fox emerges from hiding before quickly vanishing, Sordka is offered a chance at redemption. Kill them both, and his sins will be forgiven. But Hani is prepared to do anything to prevent Sordka from bringing her to justice, even trick her way into his investigation. Oh, it sounds really cute, and I've heard really good things about it, and I'm excited to give it a shot. I like that it's more of like Asian inspired and talking about Gumihos. Really curious about the magic system and how it's going to play out. And then one that I'm really excited about because it's been out, but the audiobook hasn't been released, and I pre-ordered the audiobook months ago, and that's Eldritch by Carrie Lake. This is book 2 in the Eating Wood series. The first one was Anathema, and I really enjoyed Anathema a lot, and I'm looking forward to continuing this and glad that I finally can when the audiobook comes out in March. So if you don't know, the first one, Anathema, is you're following a girl who's in a really strict society, and magic is forbidden, and the women are basically abused and kind of told that they're lesser. And it ends up coming to light that her and her sister potentially have magic. And it comes to light that her sister had done something and they're going to execute her. And while they're about to execute her by sending her into the Eating Woods, where people do not return from, she is found out to have magic, and so they put them both in there, and then she ends up getting she ends up going through a portal to another world where she finds these beings that have magical abilities, and Zavander is one of them, and he was actually sent to kill her, but for some strange reason couldn't, and then she runs into him in his world. The magic system is really interesting. I like the kind of almost familiar aspects, like everybody has a specific power. Zavander has like shadow magic, but it also involves scorpions, and he has a friend that's like a basilisk, but it doesn't manifest physically, but he has venom. So stuff like that. I love those types of things and how everybody's different. So that's super interesting, and I've loved the magic system with that. But this is also more of a gothic fantasy, and it really toes the line with horror. And I would say this is the closest genre to horror that I can get. I'm scared with stuff like that. I don't like horror. I don't enjoy it. So this is like the most that I enjoy. But because of that, it made it really interesting and unique, and I really enjoyed that. So I'm really excited to continue the series and see what happens. Those are all the books that I'm planning on reading in March. We'll see if we can get to all of them. We'll see if things release in time or if I'm scrambling and it ends up reading something else. We'll see. Maybe I'll read some of these in February. I don't know. But that is the tentative plan. I would love to know some books that you're planning on reading in March. If you want to leave them in a comment down below. But if not, leave me a heart emoji. Thank you so much for watching, but that is it for today's video. Please like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I will see you next time. Stay safe and caffeinated. Bye.